after all this talk, and you know how these mullahs talk, we will visit on the great Satan, the terrible vengeance of the people. You know, this whole nonsense they pull off. They fired a bunch of missiles into the dirt. and then, even as they were doing, saying, and there should be no retaliation, please don't retaliate, because they know we could really, with a drone, we could have a 17-year-old kid with an Xbox controller who could destroy their entire Navy in an afternoon, their Air Force, which is really, you know, those balsa wood things with rubber band propellers they used to have, that's their Air Force. We could shut down their ports. They know this. They know we could eliminate them economically in a heartbeat. So they just fired a couple of missiles to. The thing is, in the Iranian government, you have the bad guys, and then you have the slightly less bad guys. Okay, that's who's running the government. And the bad guys want to have a massive retaliation to save face, and the slightly less bad guys are going, yeah, I don't know, those Americans are kind of powerful. Maybe we shouldn't do it. Today, this morning, just before I came to work, President Trump came out and announced the results of this missile attack. Let's play the first cut of Trump this morning. It's cut 11.
As long as I'm president of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Good morning. I'm pleased to inform you the American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases. Our great American forces are prepared for anything. Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world.
So he's basically taking a victory lap, and he's not escalating the conflict. He's saying he understands they saved face, they shot some missiles at the dirt. He gets it, and he's going to let them off the hook. But he's also going to impose more sanctions on them, and we'll get to that in a second. But the thing is, let's just go over this for a minute. All right, let's go over this for a minute. Let's go over what happened. Iran has been attacking our targets for a long time, right? And one of the things is, sometimes, I say this as a novelist, sometimes when you want to understand things, it's best to take people at their word. It's best to not psychoanalyze them or impose your idea of what they're saying. Just take them at their word. So we had the Iranians shot down, I think, 2 of our drones, right? They've shot down 2 of our drones. They've attacked foreign oil tankers. They attacked oil plants in Saudi Arabia. And each time Trump stood down, and one time he even sent the planes ready to launch when they destroyed one of our drones. He sent an attack and then called it back. And again, the press says, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's, weak. He's sending signals of weakness. And Trump said, no, the red line is if they kill an American. December 27th, they were lobbing missiles into a work site in Kirkuk, Iraq, and they blew up an ordnance dump, and they killed an American contractor, right? Not good. New Year comes, and so we responded with missile attacks, and people were killed. They sent in some missile attacks, airstrikes on 5 sites controlled by the Iranian militia in Syria and Iraq, and the airstrikes killed maybe 24 people. Then the Iranian militia attacked our embassy in Baghdad, okay? And remember the New York Times saying mourners and protesters, but no, it was Iranian-backed people attacking our embassy in Baghdad to stave off another Benghazi. Trump defended the site, sent Marines in, told them that we were going to protect the site, nobody was hurt, and then he went after Soleimani. That's what happened, right? That's the series of events. Totally decent, good strategic response to what was actually happening in the region. Let me just play you a little bit, a montage from this, I think, is from our friend at Newsbusters, a montage of a media reaction to this completely reasonable and strategic action that has made America safer.
Is there a new deviancy in the American culture that we now support murder, killing of political leaders?
Millions of Iranians mourn the death of Qasem Soleimani today. A stunning show of solidarity.
The supreme leader of Iran weeping and praying over a coffin draped in the Iraqi flag.
He was such a legendary figure, raised not only in terms of what he actually did, but mythologically.
Suggesting the world is a safer place this morning, you would be hard-pressed to find people in this region who buy this.
To assassinate him, do they think that's going to make us safer?
One reckless act by the American president.
Did the president make a major mistake?
Do you believe there was an imminent threat from Iran?
Do we have reason to trust what this administration says?
Prove it.
Donald Trump still has no idea how much this is going to dial up conflict in the Middle East.
Did he just make a decision to keep himself alive politically that put us and our families at mortal risk?
Our troops will be put in danger because of the vanity of Donald Trump.
This is a massive escalation.
An irreversible path to all-out war with Iran.
Blood will be spilled, American blood, because of it.
Oh, my God! Oh, my God! All right, that last guy we just threw in there. But still, you know, they can't treat Republicans and Democrats fairly. They can't show both sides of Republicans and Democrats. But when the Iranians, a terrorist regime, are fighting with the Americans, they take the Iranian side. They can give full measure to the Iranian point of view, but not to the... And that thing from Chris Cuomo, where he looks at the camera and says, prove it. I mean, bite me. That is absurd. What is he going to say? That Soleimani was not killing American soldiers? That he was not plotting more terrorist attacks? It is incredible. And the sense of history, none. There's no sense of history at all. That the reason Donald Trump has to deal with this is because of Barack Obama's strategy to appease Iran. The idea was, this is racism. It's the idea that if somehow we're nice to Iran, Iran is suddenly going to abandon its philosophy, its ideas, its goals. Not going to happen. They're adults. They're grown-up people. They have a philosophy of murder. They have a philosophy of power. They have a philosophy of radical Islam that they are living by. That's what they're going to do. So Trump made this point in his speech this morning. He reminded people of where this happened, and he seized the moment of his victory to actually push forward a narrative that is the truth. This is cut 13.
Iran's hostilities substantially increased after the foolish Iran nuclear deal was signed in 2013. And they were given $150 billion, not to mention $1.8 billion in cash. Instead of saying thank you to the United States, they chanted death to America. In fact, they chanted death to America the day the agreement was signed. Then Iran went on a terror spree, funded by the money from the deal, and created hell in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, and Iraq. The missiles fired last night at us and our allies were paid for with the funds made available by the last administration.
I mean, that is the truth. That's the truth that is not being reported. It's like it never happened. All that time that the media was telling us that Barack Obama was the light worker, he was, an obsidian wall that we couldn't even make jokes about. He was the second coming. Barbara Walters said we thought he was the second coming of the Messiah. Some of us maybe thought that. All that time, the guy was a screw-up. He was a massive, massive, incompetent screw-up. Everything is tickety-boo, including the massive growth of the Daily Wire YouTube channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and catch all our future videos right here on YouTube.